Hi, I'm Kieran. I'm a role player. I'm also a freelance sci-fi writer in my spare time. What would you like to ask me?
Hi, I'm Chris Tregenza. I run 66 Fireball.
This is Wilcox. I'm 24. I've been role-playing for about 6 months now. I just started coming to this store, Chimera, in October of last year.
My name's Simon Gill. I'm 28. I've been gaming for about 10 years, on or off. First got into the hobby when I found a few friends at school, getting involved in Dungeons and Dragons, and just trying it out. Finding out fantasy is actually a really interesting way of just messing around with stories, really.
I'm Ben, I'm 26, and I am a role player.
There are many places all over the world where role players go to fulfil their hobbies. We decided to travel to one destination, Chimera Beeston in Nottingham, to identify if people use role playing as a form of escape. We interviewed players at Chimera to get their personal view on the subject.
Role-playing is kind of like acting. It's being able to put yourself into the role of someone who isn't yourself in a very different environment or in a very different circumstance, and try and imagine what they're going through as a character. I like as much variety as possible because different role-playing genres supply different experiences, different ways of thinking. Going from a science fiction game involving spaceships, jumping through hyperspace and aliens, inspires a very different way of thinking than jumping to a game with swords and sorcerers and dragons, and jumping again to a more modern style game. I like the variety as much as anything else because it gives you the chance to be a lot of different characters and different roles, some closer to home than others.
So we then asked the role players individually what were their favourite characters to role play.
The one that comes to mind the most is a cleric I played a long time ago, which was called the Cleric of Prophecy. The concept was just kind of wanted to be a general kind of oracle, seeing in the future kind of character, but the GM twisted it horribly. So he gave me just seeing through 7 eyes. What it meant was every time I gained a level I was going to die and then reincarnate in something else, which was annoying for the first couple of levels because basically I died a lot. But I got to go through different characters, different races and species all the way through. So it was a very unique experience for that 9-month campaign.
One of the characters here I'm playing on my Thursday night group, I play a John Smythe. It's a Call of Cthulhu game in 1920s Britain, dealing with dark horror, and I play a deliberately unpleasant character. He is absolutely rude to foreigners and working class people, but anyone of us who's sort of rich or aristocratic, he's a complete crawler. And he's an unpleasant person, and it's a real novelty to go out and play someone which hopefully isn't like me.
I like as much variety as possible because different role-playing genres supply different experiences, different ways of thinking. Going from a science fiction game involving spaceships, jumping through hyperspace and aliens, inspires a very different way of thinking than jumping to a game with swords and sorcerers and dragons.
Yeah, these 2 books are from Exalted, which is my favourite fantasy system of all. They depict the world of creation, which is supposedly from a previous age to ours, where magic is still very much a vital part of society and of the world. It's all based on the Homeric and the Indian epics, a lot of Roman stories and motifs in there as well. Also the ideas from anime of Final Fantasy VII and Cloud's gigantic sword just give it that little bit of extra flavour.
As a GM, what you tend to do is you create the story and let everybody run around in it. But if you imagine it as a TV series, the main cast are everybody else, the players. The GM plays the supporting cast. She is also the director, the narrator, the scriptwriter, the lighting guy, the sound guy. So that can range from kind of just playing 5 of the roles, or trying to work out where the story's going, or just letting them run off with it. You're also kind of people management.
After learning a little more about role-playing and how it works, we could see their personal side to it. Was this just a casual hobby, or a form of escape from their everyday life?
The question of escapism is quite difficult. I've said this to someone before. It's not as simple as that. There's different levels. Sometimes it is, you're tired after a day of doing something real and you want to come and pretend to be a drunken Irish idiot, like my game last night. It's quite fun to do. But then there's levels where we can learn from that. So to take a theory that works, the Aristotelian sort of mirror theory is that when the Greeks did plays, that wasn't just them going for entertainment. It was a case of them taking lessons from their life that they couldn't discuss.
When we play something like Call of Cthulhu, which is very much about the dark horror and the atmosphere, it becomes very much about the character, and we switch into character and stay that way for 3 hours.
If you're using it to just avoid doing something, to avoid a particular chore or a job, or seeing someone who's sort of important to you, then yes, it's escapism. But really, I don't think it is. It's a nice hobby. It's a nice thing you can do socially with a lot of other people. And I've had more moments of clarity and understanding with people during these sessions than I've had in normal conversations at a pub or in a library. And it's very enjoyable at times. I won't call it escapism at all.
Yes, the role playing around the table, the interaction, it absorbs you in a sort of a personality way. You know, when you play a computer game, you are still the same person, whereas in a good role playing session, you do sort of become somebody else.
Immersion, yeah, it can lead to escapism. When you're immersed, you're not thinking, what's for dinner, what do I have to do at work tomorrow? You're thinking, so we've got a gang of bandits on the other ridge over there, how do we deal with them? So I wouldn't say it's fully escapist, because yeah, you're dealing with somebody else's way of thinking for a while, but at the end of the day you come back and you've still got your own things to think about and your own things to deal with.
I don't really look at it as a form of escapism. I just look at it as a fun thing to do and a great way to socialise. It's always fun to see how the group dynamic works when you've got lots of people playing the same game. And I basically play for that reason more than the other.